Welcome to the Gamers Change Lives podcast. Play games, create jobs, change lives. This is a show about how to build an esports business from literally anywhere in the world, where each week we showcase the journey of one inspiring esports entrepreneur and learn how they solved a particular problem that everyone will ultimately face. And now, to your host, Tom Leonard.
Over the next decade, the World Bank estimates 1 billion young people will try to enter the job market, but less than half of them will be able to find a formal job. This leaves most young people, many in minority and marginalized groups, unemployed or experiencing working poverty. This has the potential to negatively impact a generation of young people around the world. Now, there's no one simple solution. There's not one super powerful organization that's going to magically make all these needed jobs appear. It's going to take an incredible amount of work and determination to make even a dent in this gap. People need to get busy now, right now, not next month or next year. But what if I told you about one powerful tool that exists today that is easy to implement and targets youth unemployment? And it involves people playing games. Yes, video games. Think I'm crazy? Let me explain. Welcome to the Gamers Change Lives podcast. I'm Tom Leonard. Play games, create jobs, change lives. This is a show about how to build an esports business from literally anywhere in the world, where each week we showcase the journey of an inspiring esports entrepreneur from an emerging market and learn how they solve one particular problem that everyone will eventually face. So what's the status quo? There are many esports entrepreneurs around the world who are looking for ways to create jobs for themselves and for others. They want to make a difference, but they don't always know where to start. So they use their curiosity to tackle the problem. They look for examples of successful entrepreneurs online, searching for a model to follow. Some seek out mentors who can help them achieve their dreams. Others search for organizations, government or nonprofit, who can provide support for launching a business. Some start a team or tournament, creating their own training ground. Others look for formal training programs in case they might exist and in case they might be accessible. But there's some problems with the status quo. First, people don't always think of gaming and esports as a real business. They do not make the connection between games and jobs. They think of gaming as a pastime or worse, a distraction from more serious paths to job creation. The lack of training resources, formal or informal, can erode our confidence in ourselves as someone capable of being successful. The information on developing a career in esports typically concentrates on how to become the best player, coach, shoutcaster, not on the skills needed for the entrepreneur wanting to start their own esports business. But perhaps the biggest obstacle for an aspiring entrepreneur wanting to create an esports business in an emerging market is that the content they find is not geared to being successful in Ghana or India or Brazil, but talks about how it's done in Los Angeles, Austin, London, Berlin. Entrepreneurs in emerging markets do not get to hear from others in their situation, where resources have real-world constraints. Basically, they do not get to hear from people who look like them. Now just think of the impact if aspiring esports entrepreneurs around the world were given the opportunity to hear stories that are designed to speak directly to them in their own language of esports in emerging markets. What if they could hear the stories of how team owners, players, tournament organizers worldwide, even in the most unlikely places on earth, had demonstrated their talent, ingenuity, and resourcefulness to achieve success? Their stories are numerous and inspiring and need to be shared. This content would show how to tackle each of the problems a leader will face on their journey to becoming successful. Challenges such as how to start a team, what it takes to create a tournament that actually generates jobs, the best ways to raise money and attract sponsors, tips on how to organize a real business, and much more. The focus will not be on hearing from someone in the US or Europe who's created a huge esports organization and tried to duplicate their success. It will be much more valuable than that. The success stories will come from people just like yourselves. Others who come from similar communities and know how to face the same challenges you face every day. Do not lose sight this is an industry, a community, our community, that is founded on playing games. Every participant is competitive. They know how to play to win. And given access to the right information, they have shown that they can accomplish almost anything. Always remember that playing games can lead to jobs, and those jobs can change lives. Over the past year, I've talked to many smart people from around the world who want to help themselves and their community by using esports to create jobs. Their resourcefulness has been inspiring. Their stories need to be shared so that others in similar situations can be inspired as well. This is the oldest and one of the most effective methods of learning, one-on-one storytelling. Now, I definitely don't have all the answers. Heck, I don't even have all the questions. But I do know that if we join forces, team up on a quest, we can figure it out together. Every gamer knows that this is a winning strategy. We all want to make a difference in our community to ensure that everyone has a job who needs it, and we know that esports can truly be a part of the solution. But to get there, we just keep looking for a solution that doesn't exactly fit our situation. And as a result, we don't get the tools, training needed to create successful, job-creating esports organizations in the world in which we live. Instead, we can start hearing the stories from others who have made a difference in their world by overcoming their challenges. We can make the motto come to life. Play games, create jobs, change lives. This is the Gamers Change Lives podcast, a show about how to build an esports business from literally anywhere in the world, where each week we showcase the journey of an inspiring esports entrepreneur and learn how they solved one particular problem that everyone will ultimately face. Join me. Subscribe to this podcast, join our email list, tell your friends, and get ready for our first episode.